Jim Klauck on the Beach Money Podcast with my guest friend, Mr. Coconut himself. That's a little love word I have for my good friend.
Love word.
Howard Partridge. Howard, you're all about love. When I think about Howard, I think about how much you love on people.
That's true. In fact, I wrote a book called Phenomenal Love with one of my favorite people in the world, Senior Grandmaster Brenda J. Sell, who is the highest ranking American female in Taekwondo. She's one of my clients and one of our members in our community of love. So
it is all about love, though. When I go to your events, the Phenomenal Business Coaching Inner Circle events, these conferences, there's so much love. And I describe this to people who want to come as a guest. I encourage people to come. You should always come as a guest if you're so lucky to be invited. And I say, you'll see a guy, I call him Mr. Coconut, and it's a nickname I have for Howard. And he's running around the room, literally, and he's the guy that gets everyone excited, and it's very cohesive. It's a community of love, and it really is. It's not a normal conference, is it?
It's not a normal conference, but it's also not just like, mushy gushy. I don't want people to get the wrong idea and start bailing on us today. The fact is that we help small business owners stop being a slave to their business and transform it into a predictable, profitable turnkey operation. The way we do that is we help them build systems in their business and then help them become better leaders and help them build what I call a phenomenal dream team. And the way we do that is in a context of community where we have webinars, we have online training, we have in-person training, we have live training online, we have conferences, and then we have small group coaching and one-on-one coaching.
Well said. I would have said the same thing. But
That's
Howard said it himself. And we often hear the slave to our business, and everyone who's started a business at some point has been a slave to the business. And I know what you like to do, Howard, is to get people out of slavedom, because so many of us work day in, day out. We work 15 hours a day. We work on the weekends. If we're on vacation because our spouse says we need to go on one, we're still working. Right. And that's not healthy, is it?
No, that was me back in 1997. I started my first business out of the trunk of my car when I was 23 years old. For the next 13 years, I really became a slave to the business, worked 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then I started learning about systems, and I read a little book called The E-Myth Revisited by one of our guest friends, Michael E. Gerber, who, and I saw for the first time I could have a turnkey business. And I went to work on that business. And as he says, work on it, not in it. He actually coined that term. And of course, not only built a multi-million-dollar business that's turnkey, I still own it today, but started coaching and doing other things like network marketing over the years. Of course, Michael E. Gerber is known as the #1 small business guru in the world, according to Inc. magazine. He's been on my stage many times and will be on my stage again on October 26th. I don't know when you're listening to this, but he recently moved to Houston, and we have the pleasure. He's 87. But there's another young man that's a little bit younger than that we're probably going to talk about today. And just another aspect of the phenomenal life that I've been able to live. So anyway, that's what we primarily do. But then what happens is other people who are attached to us who don't have a business, they want a business opportunity. So we have things for them, and everything that we do in leadership. And, my company is the exclusive small business coaching company for Ziglar. So I've helped them develop their Ziglar certification program. I train at all their certification events. And so when we talk about personal development, leadership, then, other people are attracted to us. So we help our members not only with their business, but also with their family. We have a youth program. We have a whole personal development track where people can learn and apply the Ziglar philosophy to their life.
I want to tell everybody who doesn't know that Howard has his own podcast, and really to learn more about what he does, you can go to it, because I actually host that podcast as well. And
thank you for doing that.
Sure. And, Michael E. Gerber is on it and other great speakers. But not only that, Inner Circle members who are part of the community are on there talking about their successes. And I can't think of a better way, Howard, for people to get to know what it's like to be part of the Inner Circle.
Yeah. And the Inner Circle is our coaching program. Our brand is Phenomenal Business Coaching, powered by Zig Ziglar. And the Howard Partridge Inner Circle is where we bring all that business training, the support, the encouragement, the accountability, the coaching, all of that comes together in that platform. So yeah, it's a great opportunity, because you not only learn what they're learning from us, but they're dropping success stories, right? And the greatest business lesson that I have learned from almost 40 years in business, a quarter of a decade coaching other people. We've got clients in over 100 different industries in 20 countries, working closely with John Maxwell, Michael Gerber, Zig Ziglar, Donald Miller, people like that, and coaching under them on their platforms. And knowing people like Jordan Adler, I've come to the conclusion that the greatest life lesson that I've ever learned, and the greatest life lesson anybody could ever learn, is get around people who have already done what you want to do. They're already been where you want to go. And and they have a plan for you to follow. That's the key. Because some people are successful, but they can't really tell you what the roadmap is, right? And that's really important. I mean, your network equals your net worth. All of business and all of life is about relationships. And so you want to constantly be building relationships with people and expanding your community, expanding your network, so that anytime you need something, it's there. Anytime other people in your network need something, you can go add value to them.
One of the people who really changed your life and changed my life was Zig Ziglar. And I have to thank you for introducing me to Zig. And I want to say this was 15 years ago. It was about 2 years prior to his passing. And I'll never forget, I was invited as a guest to come to the conference, and there Zig Ziglar was on stage. This is the man that really convinced me, without knowing. He was a mentor of mine, a virtual one. Listened to him in my car with cassette tapes. And he said, Jim, you need to quit your job and become an entrepreneur. He didn't quite say it like that, but that's what I heard. And he gave me this inspiration and motivation, and to see him on stage was amazing. And then he was at the back of the room signing books, and I got to thank him for everything in my life. And that was a great gift. And I want to thank you, Howard, for that opportunity.
Of course. So that was in Houston. That was in Houston.
That was in Houston at the Omni. Yes.
That was November 2008. November of 2008. And he passed away in November of 2012. So it was actually 4 years?
Oh, was it 4 after? Okay. Yeah. And it was 15 years ago then, if it was in 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was an incredible moment, because he really was someone that I looked up to, and he did make a huge impact on my life. The reason why I bring this up, everybody, is because Howard brings these life-changing people to all of us. And I mean, Howard's just so good at this community thing. He gets the community together, and not only does he coach and train and inspire, but he brings these people in who do know how to teach, who can coach, because not everyone, like Howard said a few moments ago, is good at teaching what they do. They just happen to be really good at it. So you can be a professional golfer, but not coach it, which is fine. And I'm just telling you, if you haven't had an opportunity to plug yourself into something like this, you really need to check it out. And I'm going to have in the notes of this podcast all the information they need, Howard, to get a hold of you and your team.
Perfect. Well, no doubt, the whole Ziegler experience changed my life. Meeting Zig, having him come and speak at on my stage. I call him Mr. Ziegler today, but then becoming the exclusive small business coaching company for Ziegler, having a strong relationship with Tom and the rest of the family. So I've been working with them now for 12 years. The last chapter of Zig Ziglar's last book, his last book was called Born to Win. The last chapter was called Born to Win for Business Leaders, which Tom crafted around my quote. So the last chapter of Zig Ziglar's very last book was based on my quote. And for the last, and what it did for me is that, it put me in 100 different industries, because, Mr. Ziegler touched an estimated 250 million lives on the planet. So everybody from, CPA to doctor to plumber to HVAC to coach to author or whatever, just started coming to our events. Tom and I traveled the world for about 2 years. And so I'm so grateful to Ziegler for the love, the acceptance, the allowing me to do, what I do at Ziegler, and also have the blessing of, working closely with Tom, helping him run that company. We set up a lot of systems there as they were going through a number of transitions. His daughter, his only child, has worked for me for the last 6 years. Obviously, she's not a child. She'll be 29 next month. So that's been a real blessing to be instrumental in her growth as well. So, I live a blessed life,
Yeah, no, I know you do. And you live a beach money life. I want to talk a little bit about beach money. When I think of the beach, I think of my friend, the coconut, which is you, Howard. And it's a loving name, by the way, everybody.
It means I'm hard and crusty on the outside and a little bit burnt from time to time, brown. And then on the inside, I'm sweet.
Yeah, and you are a sweet guy. Getting back to the beach, you spent a lot of time on the beach in Destin, and it was your dream to build your dream home on the beach you had been walking on for years. And you do live a beach money life, and everyone's beach money life is a little bit different. Would you tell our viewers something about how you crafted your life and how you feel you might be living that life?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the thing is that really what beach money means to me is that you make money while you're wherever you want to be. And for me, it's the beach. So Jordan, obviously this podcast is the Beach Money podcast. Jordan wrote the book called Beach Money, and he's got one called Better Than Beach Money now. But so first of all, with a business, what people don't realize is that you can build what I call a predictable, profitable turnkey operation so that it operates without you. I didn't know that until I read the E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. But I did something that most people don't do, and that is I implemented what I learned, right? I wrote another book called FTI, Failure to Implement. People don't implement the things that they know. And so another form of that is by being in real estate or investments. That gives you passive returns, or it can. And then, of course, the one that finally launched Jordan is network marketing. In his case, send out cards. And what happened with me with send out cards is that became another passive income stream. And it actually could have been even greater had I understood something, a network marketing secret that I'll share in just a minute. But I was hanging out with a guy who became a great friend of mine and a great, coach and friend. His name is David Fry. And Dave is one of the only people in the world, probably the only person in the world that I know that's both a referral marketing expert and an internet marketing expert. I built my businesses through referrals, and not asking for referrals, but building a referral system that gets companies to refer us exclusively. Last year in our service company, we generate about $1 million in referrals in new business every single year in a $4 million company. So that means 25% new business, $3 million in repeat business. And the reason is because we have both a referral reward program, but we also have a referral source program. Well, referral partner program. What that means is that you have to build relationships with people. And so it's called a referral relationship program. All business, all life is about relationships. And so I was having lunch with Dave Fry, and he starts showing me this card system, and he draws it out on paper. He said, what if you, and honestly, when I first started with Send Out Cards, I just wanted to be able to have lunch with Dave more often. So I thought to myself, well, if I buy this thing, which is about, at that time, $300 or $400, I said, I'll have a nice tool that I can use, but I'll get to hang out with Dave, right? Well, I found out that Send Out Cards is the greatest, I call it the greatest marketing tool of all time. And the reason is because other than a face-to-face or voice-to-voice conversation, and even when you have a face-to-face or a voice-to-voice, the best way to communicate with people is through a personal greeting card, right? And so Send Out Cards has like 16,000 cards at that time that you could choose from. I don't know how many thousands they have, tens of thousands they have now, but you can put your picture on it. You can create a card with a picture on it. You can put pictures inside. You can send along with a card their famous brownies, cookies, chocolates, gifts, books, and things like that. And then the better part of it is that when you become a distributor, then when other people sell it, you make money, right? That's network marketing. But what I didn't do back then, even though in 2009, I was the top distributor, the most personal sponsored accounts out of 25,000 people, what I didn't do, what I didn't know, the mistake that I made was I didn't build a team. I didn't duplicate. So I didn't build people like Jordan has underneath me that would also build a business, right? So that's how Jordan became the top person in Send Out Cards. So I don't remember when I first met Jordan, but Dave was under him, and so he was, the top guy that I'm under in Send Out Cards. I probably met him at a Send Out Cards convention or something like that, but we become great friends. I was just in Las Vegas 2 weeks ago, and we had dinner together, and he's a helicopter pilot, and I had one of my inner circle members coming in, and I messaged Jordan. I was like, hey, so any possibility of going up in a helicopter while my client's here? He's like, yeah, that'd be great. So we get in this little bitty, one of those little round bubbles, right?
Yeah.
With no doors on it. 3 of us, barely making the weight restriction. And, we're flying over these mountains in the desert. And I'm like, that would hurt if this thing went down, But we had a great time, great lunch. So I speak at a specific conference every year. in Vegas. And so I always go and have dinner with Jordan, and just a wonderful, wonderful guy. And we just have a blast together. But beach money is when you build that network marketing business so that you're getting residual checks. And in fact, even though I didn't build a big organization, I still get checks every month that people would be impressed by.
Yeah, it's amazing the power of network marketing. The more you do, the bigger your system gets. And Jordan, it seems like Jordan's retired. If you didn't know him and you just looked at his social media, he's always on the beach or in the mountains. He's flying his helicopter. He's on a plane. And Jordan and I probably converse every week. And I'm like, where are you off to now? And as a matter of fact, he invited me on a cruise in November. It's a podcaster's cruise. So I'll be spending a week with Jordan in
There
the
you go.
Caribbean.
Yeah.
But ultimately, Jordan gets to shake hands, meet people, and he will actually continue to build his beach money system while being on the beach or the cruise. And a lot of people say that doesn't happen. That's not real. That's like fake. It does take some work. It really does. Okay. You really have to work at it, but it gets easier over time as you have more people working with you.
Right. So here's the thing. So the thing is that no matter what you do, if there's just one thing I could get across to every business owner, every salesperson, every independent agent, whether it's network marketing or insurance agent or realtor, or whatever, every business owner that's looking for people, notice people, connect with people everywhere you go. So we started spending summers at our beach house in Destin. And so I'm sitting on the beach every day, and people have also said that about me. It's like, do you work? I mean, I see you on the beach all the time, see you here, see you there. And the truth is I do in two ways. One is every single morning I do what I call my daily time capsule, where I work on my top projects. This is one of the things that we teach our clients to do, to get the most important things out of the way. But, I get up 6:30, get those out of the way. By 8:30, maybe I have phone calls. I do a little training every day. I do some coaching every day. And so once I'm done inside, I'm outside the rest of the day. I can take phone calls on the beach. And if I need to do a podcast like this, I can come in. I'm at my Texas home right now. But I really don't consider that work. It's just what you do, what you're called to do. At this point in time, I'm not working for money. Got plenty of money. Not really even working for my dream anymore, because I got my dream. I'm working to make a difference in other people's lives, my clients, my team. I'm growing people up, because one of these days that, I'm not going to be here. So I'm growing people up and developing them into superstars so that they can take over when the time is right. And so what happens is, as you build your network, as you notice people, you connect with people, and it becomes a lifestyle. It's not work. It's not work for me to say hello to somebody. It's not work for me to say, hey, what's your name? I'm Howard. What's your name? It's not work for me to say, hey, what's your story? It's not work for me to say, hey, I got some ways we can help each other. Let's connect, right? And I do that every single day. And so when I started spending summers on the beach, I created this little term that you have to be always networking, online, offline, and shoreline, because I sit right at the water. I mean, they almost have to trip over me. I don't sit too close because I don't want them to go behind me. So I'm far enough away from the water where they can pass right in front of me, but I'm close enough. Like, hey, good morning. What's your name?
Yeah.
or hey, something about, the shirt or whatever. There's a guy down there who owns the top 2 restaurants in the area. I mean, these things just print money. And so one of his restaurants is called the Red Bar. He's about 80 years old. And I didn't know who he was when he was walking back and forth. And one day he had a Red Bar shirt on, and it had the Rolling Stones like logo, like the mouth with the tongue hanging out, And I said, "You with the Red Bar?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Aren't you guys concerned about, copyright violation with the Rolling Stones?" He just laughed, and I said, "I'm Howard. How you doing? What's your name?" He said, "I'm Louis." I said, "Louis, are you the owner, the founder?" He's like, "Yeah." So we became friends, and we walked the beach together sometimes, and he's 80. I encourage him, and we have lunch from time to time, and things like that. So it's building your network, and I think so many people don't understand. It's like, oh, I don't want to talk to someone about my product or my service. So really, what you're saying is that you don't want to help somebody.
I was thinking the same thing, Howard. How do they know what you do if you can't help them? So
right.
I mean, this is kind of, simplistic, but if they're ill and they don't know you're a doctor,
Right.
hello.
Right. And you don't know what they need. You don't even know who they are. So you're judging a book by the cover.
Exactly. A lot of people don't want to sell. You don't have to sell. Educate and have them buy. That's the best way to sell, is not to sell.
Just make friends. Just be a friend. Okay.
Yeah, all right. So I'm going to tell a little story that involves Howard and me, and this goes back, I think, to last winter. Howard and I had a lunch date at my club, which we do at least quarterly. We meet.
True.
And I get a phone call from Howard a couple hours before. Wow, I don't know. It's kind of cold out, because Howard likes the beach. He doesn't like the cold. He said, "Well, can we change the date when it's, a little warmer?"
It warms up a little.
And I'm like, "No, I have a reservation. You're coming." And he says, "Okay." And he's all bundled up, and it was like 60 degrees, but you would think it was minus 30. And I said, "Trust me, this is going to be worth your while." Okay.
And you didn't know how.
I didn't know how, but I had faith. I knew something was going to happen. And so, as Howard does in Howard's way, he's asking people, "Did you know you're phenomenal?" Right? The phenomenal talk. And exactly. And we had some books. I wanted Howard to sign some books for me to give out to people who view the podcast. And so, by the way, we have books if you need any. And one of the individuals that worked there, a very nice lady, she came up and Howard engaged with her, and they actually connected. And I said, "You see?" And he's like, "Yes." So I have a saying, every meeting is a good meeting.
Now, this wasn't just an individual.
Okay.
This tall but young lady. I mean, everybody's a kid when you get my age, right? And when you get Michael Gerber's age, I'm a kid, But I mean, listen, I know a pro when I meet a pro. So she's like the assistant manager or something, or general manager, whatever. Anyway, she's like, second in command there. And I watch people like in restaurants or whatever, how they're dressed, how they carry themselves. I mean, first of all, she's gorgeous. Okay. So that doesn't hurt anything. And
I told you it would be worth it, Howard.
I know. And she's got this beautiful, like, professional suit. I'm thinking, man, she is a pro. So one of the things I do is, as Jim just said, is since my company is Phenomenal Business Coaching, everywhere I go, when I meet people, I just, "Hey, what's your name?" "I'm Howard." "What's your name?" "What's your story?" And they go, all of it. I mean, what part of it, And so I get to know people. And then I ask them, "Do you know that you're phenomenal?" And they say, "Well, They say either, well, of course, or I don't know, or what do you mean? And so then Mr. Zig Ziglar, I learned from him that he says this, that human beings are born to win, that you're born to win, designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, endowed with the seeds of greatness. After all, God don't make no junk. So each and every person on planet Earth is a phenomenal product created to be phenomenal, to do phenomenal things, and have a phenomenal life. So I share with them that that is the reality, that is their position as a human being, because we're made in God's image, regardless of what kind of day they're having. And so I just had that simple talk with her, and she found out that I was an author and was just like, I love to read. And so I sent her a bunch of books and stuff like that. I check in with her every now and then. Now, here's what you have to know. Although I would love to go in there and train our whole team, although I would love to be involved in a group that she's involved in, that has not happened yet. So I'm not sitting here going, oh, well, you know, I sent her some books, and I did this and I did that, and she never gave me any business. You're missing the whole point. You plant, you water, and you plant seeds. Now, it might be, I have these little bracelets that say I am phenomenal. It has my business card on it, and somebody called that a wearable business card. I like that. I give away books. Okay. These are seeds. So I am planting seed every single day. Somebody wants to have lunch? Yes. Somebody wants to connect on a phone call? Yes. Somebody wants to have me on their podcast? Yes. Oh, actually, my next one is sooner than I thought. Let me put that on Do Not Disturb for a second. Okay. And so it's about building your network. It's about connecting with people, but then you need to have a mechanism to stay in touch with them. That's where send out cards comes in. You can have a campaign card or a template. So I have a template, nice to meet you. And so I can send that card over to my assistant. My assistant takes, one of my people on my team takes 60 seconds, put it in the send out card CRM, click the button, nice to meet you. It personalizes it. If you're part of a group, a BNI or something like that, then you can, like I taught at the 29th Ziegler Legacy Certification on Friday. We have that list. So everybody in that group is going to get a send out card, and inside the card, it tells them about the tool that they're holding. They're all coaches, speakers, trainers. They need that, right? And so that's just what you do every day. But people who are in business, people who are network marketers, people who are coaches, people who are authors, people who are trying to find team members are walking around like this. Oh, I can't find any good people. Nobody wants to pay my price. Nobody wants to buy my product. Open your eyes, pick your head up, look around. As Mr. Ziegler said, you're not going to find any friends going out looking for a friend, but you're going to find all the friends that you want by going out and being a friend. That's why Jordan and I don't have to have lunch or dinner every year when I go to Vegas. Okay, Jim and I don't have to have lunch every quarter, but that's how you roll. You build relationships. You take those relationships to the next level. Then next thing you know, Jim goes, hey, how about if I do a podcast for you for your phenomenal business coaching? I don't want to do a podcast. Yes. Okay. Opportunities start coming to you. People say, oh, I can't find good employees. I have almost 50 people on my team, and I have a line of people who want to come to work for me. My only problem is not finding people, but it's having enough places to put people.
Yeah, well, success is following you. You're doing all the right things. You are sowing seeds every day, and that's so important. People want to run the sprint. I, talk about this all the time. I was talking to Cody Bateman from Send Out Cards on this podcast recently about the fact that so many people aren't willing to invest some time. So you need to plant seeds, but it takes a while for the plant or the tree to grow and bear fruit. Come on, people. And over time, the orchard grows and there's more and more fruit where you get to a point where you get that beach money income. And I just want to tell everybody, and Howard, I know you'll back me up on this. We are running a marathon and not a sprint with this. When Howard arrived in Houston originally, I know his story. He arrived with 25 cents. Is that correct?
I had 25 cents in my pocket. That's
25 cents. Yeah. 25 pennies. Weighed him down on the right side of his pocket there. But, and now look at you. I mean, seriously, you are a huge success story.
I would say I'm living my life goal, and that's success to me is becoming the person that you're created to be. Everybody's not supposed to have $100 million company. Everybody's not supposed to have $1 million company. Everybody's not supposed to be a millionaire. Not everybody's supposed to be a multimillionaire. So again, the one and only reason your business exists is to be a vehicle to help you achieve your life goals. And so you decide where you're going in life first, and you build a vehicle. So Send Out Cards is a phenomenal vehicle. It's not only a great tool for every business owner, every professional in the world, it is also a phenomenal business opportunity. And I know I didn't talk to Jordan before I got on this podcast. I know he wouldn't ask me to promote Send Out Cards. I mean, first of all, he's doing well, I'm doing well, but it's about, what Mr. Ziegler said. You can have everything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what it is that they want. We just know that that's the right thing to do. And when it comes to marketing and building your business, like you said, Jim, we can really take a lesson from Zig Ziglar's pump. And I'm one of the few people in the world, I think there's 5 of us that have one of his pumps, but it's at my office. It's not here. It's normally here. After our last conference, they took it to back to the office, I guess. But, as Mr. Ziegler said, you got to put something in before you get something out. So you have to plant a lot of seed. You have to do he did a lot of free speaking. You go out there, you network, you do lunch and learns, you go out and present, you go out and get your message out there. And then you have to pump like crazy before you get anything. Why? Because as Mr. Ziegler says, the wells are deep in South Alabama and the water is cool and fresh. So it takes a long time to get it coming up. But once you do that hard work, the networking, all the breakfast clubs, all the lunch clubs, all the dinner clubs, all the presentations, all the meeting people, sooner or later, he said, if you pump long enough, hard enough, enthusiastically enough, sooner or later, the reward comes forth. And once you start getting flow, you need systems. So to keep that steady flow, because you can't keep doing it yourself. The more contacts you get, you need a CRM. So Send Out Cards, great CRM. So again, it's just a phenomenal program. I know that we're not here to talk about Send Out Cards, but that's what Jordan does. That's what got him where he is. It's like the best beach money ever. It's the greatest marketing tool of all time. So what I would like to do, Jim, is I would like to have you put Send Out Cards in the link also. Jordan's link, and let people go in there and get that tool.
No, I will. I have been involved over the years and have seen many different network marketing opportunities. There's a lot of them. What's nice about Send Out Cards, though, since you brought it up, is that it is a tool that anyone can use in their personal and certainly in their business life. And when I think about a lot of the products or services in network marketing, I don't know, soaps, lotions, supplements, it's not for everybody. But who doesn't want to get a greeting card in the mail, especially today when most of the mail is junk mail? And as I was talking to Cody Bateman about the other day on the podcast, is everyone's going to digital. If you go the other way, which is kind of old fashioned, it's what's old is new, right? What's old is new. And people love the personal touch when they can see their name on the envelope with a stamp on it, and they can see their name inside and maybe a picture of themselves. They love that. And what do they do with the card, Howard? They put it out because it's got their image on it.
What we're doing right now today, is we're grabbing pictures of people, put it on the front of the card. Like, for example, the Ziegler Legacy Certification, the class we did last week, 29. We got the list, and we have a photographer, a professional photographer, and he's loaded up all the pictures from the class, right? So my team goes in, grabs the best picture of them, puts it on the front of the card, maybe another one inside, a message from us. It goes out to them. I don't even touch it.
Yeah.
I don't even touch it. But that's going to be the most meaningful piece of mail that they have in their mailbox that day, period. End of story.
And it's not that expensive. Remember, you're not sending out a mass mailing to 20,000 homes. This is going to an individual who already has been touched by you, most likely. And they are not going to forget it. In many instances, they're going to put that on their bookshelf. They're going to put it on their coffee table, on their kitchen counter, and it could be there for months.
Yeah. And what's really cool is when you take a picture together and you send them a picture of the two of you guys, and it's on their desk. And by the way, another thing in send out cards that you can do right now is you can send a frame with it. Hello. I have one right over there. It's too far for me to get without stumbling over something, but it comes with a white frame. Yeah. Boom.
It's great. So your network is your net worth, and continue to sow seeds, everybody. And if you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want. And it's very simple. Stop thinking about the end game as a short one. Think about it as a longer game. Help people, educate people, don't sell to people, have them buy from you. And it's a beautiful thing. And too many people are just trying to push and sell.
Yep. It's a phenomenal thing.
All right, Howard, thank you so much for joining me today here on the program.
Loved it. Anything I can do to help you and help my friend Jordan?
You always do. You're always there for us. So, and I'll be seeing you soon, by the way, a little plug for your conference. Once again, October 26th and 27th, right? And there's a boot camp for
25th is the boot camp. And then when you come to the boot camp, you can come to the conference 26 and 27. So 25, 26, and 27.
This could be the last chance to see Michael Gerber live. Okay. Yep. And because he doesn't do live events. I mean, he told me that recently. He said, Jim, I don't go out much to do this thing, but because he's local in Houston, he's going to make the event, which is a huge coup. And I've never seen Michael on stage. I know him. I've never seen him on stage. So I'm excited to, I'm actually excited to see my friend Michael Gerber up on stage. And it's just amazing. And I have a very old book of his, the E-Myth. It's like, I showed it to him the other day on the podcast. I mean, it is yellowed, and I can't wait for him to sign this thing because I've always wanted him to sign the book.
Yeah. Yeah. So he lives here in Houston now. He doesn't travel. He doesn't get on an airplane. And there's no other events that he's speaking at locally. So to see him in person could be the only, and who knows, last opportunity.
Yep. And if you're interested, I have some extra freebies I will give you if you want to show up, because I'm not doing this for me. I am really doing it for you, the small business owner that needs to get more love, more community, and some special words from Michael Gerber on the 26th.
Yep. Perfect.
All right. Thank you so much, Howard Partridge. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jim Klauck.